I don't like talking much about people, but I like talking about learning and understanding, you know? And man, now financial literacy is so important. Being financial literate, understanding contracts and understanding money situations and big money situations. Because first thing, understand that the more money you make, the more situations gonna come along with it. You know what I'm saying? The more bigger purchases you're gonna get yourself into, the more you're gonna spend. Yeah, you're gonna ball out. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what you do when you get money. Just gonna spend. Acquire everything that you dream of. The big house, the big cars, multiple cars, all the chains, watches. And you gotta flood the watches. You know what I'm saying? Wardrobe. Of course you gotta look fly. Money. It just flows and goes. Like the current, right? It's flowing and rolls like water. You know what I'm saying? Money just goes and goes, the currency.
Money, you gotta show that he got $1 million in his backpack. And, he got the latest watch and the latest car, and look what I just bought.
And when you get into latest watches and latest cars, you get into that, like, boy, that money goes quick.
Yeah.
Bugattis are like $3 million. There's watches that are $3-5 million. That's crazy. So you buy a watch and a car, you're down 10.
Floyd owes like hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent for a private New York apartment. His private jet fuel, he's not paid hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fuel and maintenance. He put up one of his jets that I think he even sold, but one of his jets and I want to say one of his properties, like one of his homes, up as collateral for a $54 million loan from an individual, from a billionaire.
Assets like luxury properties and his private jet. Creditors are reportedly closing in, even over unpaid jet fuel. His comments calling the Manny Pacquiao fight an exhibition have also sparked controversy, especially since it was previously presented as a professional bout.
Been complaining right now that he didn't get his checks from Floyd. Is that like a boxing issue versus
you don't ever hear that coming out.
To this day,
you hear a guy going, I want to make $30 million, I didn't get paid enough. You don't ever hear guys going, yeah, they didn't pay me yet, ever.
Is that like a boxing issue?
Well, here's what happens when you go in and you do these fights, and you make them. And Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong. You do these fights that are exhibitions or whatever. The commission isn't overseeing it. So
accused in multiple lawsuits, all right, of owing millions for luxury watches, gold, and rent.
What up, everybody? I'm CLP, holding the vibe. Like, share, subscribe. Drop a comment if you're vibing. What up, everybody? How's all doing? Hope all is well. And if not, hope I get back on track sooner than later. So you can out there thing, you know what I mean? General style. And if you don't understand money, it comes and it goes. You know what I'm saying? So now the more you make, the higher position you get yourself in. For example, even just look at the tax situation. Now, you're taxed by the position you're in. So if you're not making that much money, 10, 20, 30, 40,000 a year, you're going to be like right here. And the government going to tax you, but they might even give you some money back. You know, because remember, they're looking at the cost of living and everything. But then once it start getting just a little bit more over, like let's say 50,000, you're in a different bracket. Right here. What about the 75, the 100, the 50, 150, 200,000? Now you start getting paid taxes and more taxes. Now you're owing because you're making so much cash. And it's crazy how they set a tax code up, you know? And without understanding this money situation, it's just gonna flow and go and go. And yeah, I know I'm bringing up this conversation because, yo, I'm starting to believe that Mayweather really went through 500 million, $500 million. Or he never had it in the first place. The way he set his money up and other people holding it for him. And he just has stipends of his own winnings. He said he was getting robbed by these peoples. Because if you make $250 million in a fight and you owe $22 million in taxes and you don't pay the $22 million, but you made $250 million in taxes, hey, isn't that something spooky? You know? I don't know, I got a question. If you have 100 cars, do you pay 100 insurance, 100 car insurance a month? I'm just curious. Because all I got is one. And I just pay my one car insurance a month. But every car got to be insured. You know what I mean? Properties. Because with properties come property taxes. You know? Jets. Flying jets here and there and everywhere. And when flying jets come jet fees. And matter of fact, owning jets, the hangars and all of that, the keep up, properties, the keep up, oh my Lord. So like I said, right, the higher, the more money you make, the more taxes you pay, the taxes you have to pay. And you already know you got to pay taxes on goods and items and property. You know, so I didn't want to believe that Mayweather spent all his money. But Mayweather's a big flosser. And ever since you heard of Mayweather, you heard of flossing and showing out. I never understood it. Why? Because we already know you got it, Papa. We already know you got it, so why you have to show it? You know, because in order to show it, you spend, you know, you acquire it just to show it. Because I seen his garage is 100 cars. 100 car garage. You one man. 100 cars? I don't get that logic. But 50 said what? You get it and you spend it. But do you even get the whole payday? Because if you get paid $250 million in a fight, and you owe $22 million in taxes for that $250 million, and it doesn't get paid, I don't understand. The team got to get paid. The people, the money controllers got to get paid. And then the leftovers, you got to pay taxes, right? And then you keep everything else. That's $250 million. That's not a lot of money. Apparently to Mayweather is not. Because somehow Mayweather is going broke. If not broke. Like, not broke as in the broke standards. But if you have $500 million. And you got back taxes and fines and fees. Rental issues.
Floyd owes like hundreds of thousands of dollars in rent for a private New York apartment. His private jet fuel, he's not paid hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of fuel and maintenance. He put up one of his jets that I think he even sold, but one of his jets and I want to say one of his properties, like one of his homes, up as collateral for a $54 million loan from an individual, from a billionaire.
Add it all up. Do you really got any paper? So what would you do if you have $500 million? Me? Oh, I'm just going to buy a small crib. Get a brand new car. And sit. Invest. And build businesses. And make money. I want the money that's going to come in when I'm making more money over here. You know what I'm saying? Build this business, money comes in. Build that business, money comes in. And go on and add to the thing. And build the thing. So instead of flossing on things, I will floss on businesses. You can see the different thing that pops up. You know what I'm saying? Because once you get that, you want to make it a generational thing and keep adding and keep growing and keep building. How Elon keeps his paper up. Huh? All the rich peoples. The Gates. You know? The Bezos. The people with all the banks. How do they keep their money up? Now, Bezos flossing after about 200 million. He's flossing because he's going to pay for people to go to space and all of that. But look at Amazon. 200 billion plus. Maybe more. I'm not even sure, but you know what I'm saying? But did Mayweather blew all that money? Bad investments, flossing, looking real nice and looking real rich. Acquiring. But the taxes get you all the time. But if you don't pay taxes, it will get you all the time because that's big business. You have to pay the taxes. It's set up, it's designed that way, and that's the system. So it's like, if you're making big money, of course it will be reported to the IRS because whoever's paying out big money don't want to pay out big money. But things got to be recorded, and business is business. That's crazy, man. Taxes, owing all these taxes. Same thing, I don't want to say it, but you say same thing with Dame Dash. He owe all these taxes. How come? You have millions. But you have to pay on every dollar. You made 10 million, you have to pay taxes on 10 million. But it seemed like 50 said, they get the money, spend the money. Get the money, spend the money. But then the taxes don't get paid, and the fees and everything is added on, and it piles up throughout the years. So you think Mayweather really went down and went left like that? Not I broke, but in a billionaire, millionaire status broke, he's no more a million because of his debts and how much he owes. Crazy. All these reports out here. Now the Manny Pacquiao fight, he said it was an exhibition. Pacquiao said no, it's a real fight. So now Floyd messing with his legacy at 50-0. Stunting is a powerful drug because you spend all your money stunting, looking real good because you own all these things, but then under the surface you don't own all these things if it's all rented. And then they don't pay the taxes on the properties. You don't pay the taxes on the income. This is one big lesson to learn. Understand that money, the money game. The money game is serious, y'all. Takes a lot of attention. That's why they don't teach us the money game. You know? They need the money to keep flowing and keep going. They got a minimum wage stuff, so you don't even make enough just to get it and spend it, get it and spend it. Bills, necessities, right? Then you got it above a minimum wage where you get it and spend it, bills, necessities, or wants. Matter of fact, needs. Because when you get more than enough, you're going to get the needs and the wants. And just get it, and money flows. That's the current, you know what I mean? But y'all, everybody, figure out a way to hold it and stack it and build it. Figure that way out. Little by little, a lot by a lot, however you can manage, you know? But, and do the bills, pay the bills. People should know that anyway. Y'all people knows all of that. I'm just yapping, you know what I mean? I'm just talking, holding the vibe, because this is, I have to talk about this again, because I don't want to believe it. Mayweather, come on, man. That's a legend. He's a legend in this field. But now this is after the works. This is the living, the legacy. But life is lessons, the lessons you can learn. You know what I mean? And we can watch and see where I go on in this reality, this matrix. Because if you have $500 million, like I asked, what would you do? Would you ball out and floss? Or will you try to make another $500 million? Channel Star. I'm CLP, holding the vibe, and I'll catch you on the next vibration. It's all love. You know what I mean? Channel.